Les Miserables is arguably one of the most successful musicals of all time, there's no doubt about it. And this year is the 30th anniversary of the production in the West End. So Live Theatre UK thought that we should celebrate that by doing an interview with one of the stars of the show, Mr. Jeremy Secomb. You are Javert.
I'm playing Javert. I am.
Now, what's it like playing Javert in the West End production of such a successful show?
It's...
By the way, how do you say it? Because we hear Les Miserables.
I just say Les Mis.
Les Mis,
yeah.
that's it.
Les Miserables.
Les Miserables, okay.
That's how I know it as.
Okay.
So I don't know whether that's right or not.
It is funny when you hear it, you know, the ticket box or something.
Yeah, Miz, yeah.
So is Javert a role that you've always wanted to play?
Well, no, not really. It's not one of the roles that I thought I would have been seen for. Originally, because of my tenor background, it would have been Jean Valjean, I would have thought. But that just never happened. So when Sir Cameron came in to see me play Sweeney Todd, it's a bass baritone role, and he just sort of looked at me and went, right, we need to get him in for Javert. So that's basically what happened. So, you know, it's a fantastic role, but I just never, it's not one that I really thought would have happened.
But it's not just about playing Javert, which is such an identifiable role in such a successful show. It's the 30th anniversary production. You must feel like it's
quite
really
special. It is really special.
And some really impressive people have played that role.
Oh, some ridiculously impressive people. You know, it's big boots to fill. Yeah.
How does that feel when you step out and you know that those introduction bars to stars and songs like that have been sung by so many impressive people?
It's quite thrilling. I love it. You know, it sort of fills me with joy and excitement every single night. You know, it's fantastic. To sort of get into the costume and stand in the wing and put the ridiculously stupidly big hat on at the first scene and stand there and wait for my entrance. It's great. It literally is a dream come true. It's fantastic, it really is. And to do it over here in the 30th year is just crazy. So I went in and auditioned for the director, Bill Buckhurst, and the MD, Ben Cox, and Bill had never directed a musical before. So he was coming at it as a Shakespearean actor and director. He was an actor and he's now a director. He works a lot at the Globe. It was a fantastic audition because he had no preconceived idea.
That doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't. And from word go, from me walking in, I thought this is very different. It's all very different. And I sang a song of my own choice, and he said, right, do you mind if we sing a couple of the songs from the show, which they'd given to me. So we went through some of those songs, and he wasn't worried about the sound. You know, normally you go in an audition like that and they're very particular about, especially for someone like Sweeney Todd, they want the bass baritone sound and they want, you know, it big and they want it this.
You feel like you're under a microscope, whereas this was more of a creative process.
Yeah, so he basically was looking to see whether I could sing it, like literally sing it, and then he said, right, let's see if he can act it. So I was doing the Epiphany in this audition room. Like literally, there was 3 people, and I was just jumping from person to person and all that sort of stuff. And I came out of it, and I rang my agent, and I said, I think that went very well, and it's something that I think that I'd like to do. So 2 days later, they just called me up and offered it to me.
And it was in a pie shop.
Yeah.
How does that work? Like,
it scared me to death, John. I swear, it really did.
So, you're at home, you get a phone call from the company manager, and he says that Stephen Sondheim is coming in to see the production tonight. What do? Do you call your girlfriend? Do you call your mother? Do you have a lie down and a Panadol? What?
Well, okay, so he was due to come in 2 weeks before we finished.
So you
the
sort
run.
of
So
you sort of knew.
We were told by the producer.
But it's scary.
Oh, and I mean, if this particular production, we were in a 37-seat pie shop. You know, there were 37 people could see it. So when we were told that Stephen Sondheim was going to come in, we knew he was going to be this far away from us. You know, it wasn't going to be Stephen's in the dark, he's there somewhere,
No.
can't see him.
But you sort of, sometimes when you're on stage and you know that you won't be able to see them, it's some solace.
Yes, it puts you at ease a little bit because you can put it to the back of your mind and just sort of just do
Not in this
your
case.
normal show.
He could be in the back row and you still see him.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, he was this far away from me, well, from the cast, the 8 of us performing the show. You know, at no point in the show can you forget that he's there because he's.
And you finish a number and think, he didn't applaud that much.
Yeah, but I've got to say, he absolutely howled the whole way through the show.
What? Laughed at things.
Yeah, he thought the whole thing. I mean, and it's a very dark comedy and all that sort of stuff. He absolutely howled. And we were upstairs in the interval, and I said, "Well, that's great. He still can laugh at his own jokes. It's great."
Must be incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it really was something to write home about. That
And you didn't meet him, of course.
Yeah, he stayed afterwards, and we met him, and he was absolutely one of the most generous, beautiful people you'll ever meet. You know, he was so lovely. He loved the production. And just, I mean, he welled up when he was talking about it, you know. So it obviously means so much to him, and he, you know, for have him say, "I've finally seen a production of Sweeney Todd the way I wrote it."
Really?
You know,
It must be the way he envisaged.
Yeah.
You know, the proximity and.
Well, because he said when he wrote it, this is the way he wanted it. He wanted it really small and intimate, and you know, and he said when he asked Hal Prince to get involved in the original production on Broadway, Hal said the only way I'll do it is if I do a big because that was what Hal did. So from then on, it's always been this big. Over the past few years, there've been smaller productions that have happened, but the one we did was the smallest.
Masquerade, rainbow faces on parade. Masquerade, hide your face so the world will never find you. Masquerade, every face a different shade. Masquerade.
Now, I saw that you took part in the Phantom of the Opera celebration concert that was performed at the Royal Albert Hall, and there were about 33,000 million people in the cast.
There were a lot of people on stage.
What was it like?
It was bedlam. It was absolute bedlam. The difference between Phantom and Les Mis is in a situation like that, with Les Mis you can do it concert style. You can just stand there and sing it. It's sung through, you know, and it's very easy to follow, even just standing singing. So like the 10th anniversary, the 25th anniversary that they did, at Phantom it had to be different. So they did this staged production at the Royal Albert Hall. And it was bonkers. It really was absolutely nuts. They cast the principals and things like that they had, and they just basically invited people that were involved with the show in London back to do different parts.
So Sierra. I
Sierra
thought she was
Brothers.
incredible.
Oh, she's absolutely.
I had
incredible.
never seen the graveyard scene stop the show.
Yeah, wishing.
It
Yeah,
just,
she literally stopped the show with that number.
yeah, it was amazing.
She's and one of the nicest girls you'll ever.
Isn't that nice?
Well,
It's
woman,
not
women.
always the case.
No,
It's not always the
we
case.
both know it's not always the case. No, but she is absolutely. I worked with her a few years ago. I did all the London workshops of Love Never Dies, so she came over from America while she was doing The Little Mermaid and did the workshops and things like that. And she's just a riot. She really is. She's up for a laugh at every possible opportunity. And at the Royal Albert Hall, she just smacked it out of the park. But backstage, she's having a laugh with everyone, you know.
Now, moving forward, I mean, last year was a big year for you. Phantom of the Opera. You're not only playing Piangi, which is a comic role,
Yeah.
and a difficult comic role,
Yeah.
but you are filling in for the Phantom,
Mhm.
covering him. You then have this wonderful opportunity that blossoms from Sweeney Todd, which is a very dark character.
Ridiculously dark character.
And then you are cast in Les Mis.
Yeah.
And you go from comedy to really dark to, let's face it, Javert thinks he's a hero. He isn't, but he thinks he is.
Yeah.
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 So that's not just a variety of roles, that's a variety of vocal ranges
Yeah,
and
it's-
styles, isn't it?
I'm a tenor, you know, and I've always been a tenor. You know, Piangi is very much an operatic tenor role. So all the jobs that I've done over the last 20 years have been tenor roles and tenor lines in ensembles and things like that. So when I finished Phantom, the last year of me doing Phantom here in London, I was covering the Phantom, which was a really big step for me because I wanted to be able to get management and creative people to see me
you as a leading man.
as a leading man and someone that's not necessarily singing in the rafters. So the Phantom cover thing was a big thing for me, and it was something that I sort of chased quite hard. It seemed to go very well. I got great feedback from the company, and I did the role quite a lot. And then when I left the show, I had a conversation with my agent about Sweeney Todd, and he said there are a couple of these little productions that are happening, and I said I would love to be able to show that I can do that. But the conversation went along the lines of, if a big production was happening, you know, in the West End, they wouldn't look at someone like me to play that role. Because I have a tenor range, I can sing all those notes, but they don't necessarily sound the way they want them to sound. The bass baritone richness.
You become valuable for what it is you are known
That's
that
exactly
you do.
right, yeah. So we decided that we'd have an audition for one of these small productions, and I got the role. You know, I immediately went through this whole thing with my wife going, can I do this? You know, is this something that... and luckily, it paid off. You know, it was a big payoff, and it really was a big turning point, and it happened last year.
It's a big problem for a lot of actors, is that being able to get into an audition for a particular role, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And you know, like I said, I put this show to bed years ago. So I had actually had an audition for Les Mis for maybe 6-7 years.
That's showbiz.
Yeah, you know, and then all of a sudden my agent calls me up and says, I need to have a conversation with you, they want to see you for Javert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that thing where I say a word and you think of the first thing that comes into your head?
Yeah, this is dangerous.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay. Fame.
Not bothered.
Not bothered. Cameron McIntosh.
Sir.
West End.
Career.
Stars.
In the multitude.
Fans.
Necessary.
Twitter.
Again, necessary.
Sondheim.
Incredible.
Broadway.
Out of my reach at the moment.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
Auditions.
Enjoyment.
Enjoyment.
Yeah.
Okay. Costumes.
It depends. Really nice costumes are incredible to wear.
Jeremy.
A bloke.
Thank you very much. I'm sure that all of the fans of Live Theatre UK are delighted to have been backstage here in one of the lovely VIP rooms at the Queen's Theatre. And thank you very much, Jeremy.
Thank you very much, John. Cheers.